little gator game, if you remember that one. So this actually had a demo in the Indie Steam Summerfest, I think it was last year. And as you can tell, judging by its art style, granted, it may not have the same effects as a 4K game these days, but it doesn't matter, it's fine. So what we're showing off today is All Grand Prix, and essentially this is to show off every single track. Now, it will show off more than one, tracks more than once in some cases, but for the most part, it just shows everything off once. The reason why All Grand Prix is better to show off than the any percent, I'm just going to point that out straight away, is because of the fact that in the any percent you do each race that I'm going to be doing today. You'll do each one individually, and then you do the Grand Prix, which covers everything. So rather than bore you guys and show you everything twice over, granted, like I said, this still kind of does it, is that it'll only show things off for once, for the most part. Anyway, this has got 12 characters in it. We're playing as Lucy. This is unlocked towards the back end of the game. Alongside the main races in said game, you do have some side events which can involve like home racing, boost racing, and things like that. So that's the first race done dusted. A lot of the races are quite short, and I will be honest as well, the main thing that got me hooked on this was the fact that, so believe it or not, I played the early version of this at a event in Manchester in the UK called Format. Shout out to them guys, by the way. And essentially, they bring together game developers and show off their the earliest builds of their their earliest builds of their games. It's just because I'm seeing cars on the screen, that's what it is. And as a result, what will end up happening is you can actually have a drink with the developers and things like that. It's actually a really good night. It's only something that I got invited to like the last 2 or so years, I think it was. And they have I think one event coming up. It's in Liverpool, I think. It's in maybe like a few weeks from now. And yeah, that's kind of how I got introduced to the game. And I remember me and Chris, or Christian Royal, Man in Blue, whatever else to go by. He knows who he is. And me and him played it together, and I remember him completely kicking my butt. And I was like, this game is bad, I can't play this. Anyway, come obviously the Steam, I think it's Steam Next Fest that shows off like the newest games and things like that. A demo of this showed up, and I was like, I'll give it a try, see what it's like. And what ended up happening was, I ended up playing it. I quickly got used to it, and I was like, wait, this game's not as hard as I thought. Ended up playing it and actually stuck it on my Steam wish list and was like, right, okay, I'm going to buy this. So I bought it and played this game for like 3 or 4 days straight and just fell in love with the game. Granted, 100%ing this game is a bit on the tricky side, and there is like 1 or 2 races in particular that, in my opinion, is very difficult to do. Now, you'll notice as well, the art style of everything else is very pixelized and things like that. That's actually deliberate to give this game obviously like a retro sort of vibe. And being honest about it, it's actually a pretty good look to the game. Granted, it's an indie game, you can pick this up relatively cheap. But to explain a few things about the game, like I said, you have 12 characters. I can't name them all off the top of my head. I know that there's one called Chrissy, and we've got Lucy, who we play as. The reason I know Chrissy so well is because of the fact that, mainly because of the fact that that character is one of 3 that you start with, and what you're able to do is you can use her throughout the entire any percent. Now, Lucy has the best acceleration, however, it is seen by quite a lot of the community that the characters are... It is more down to a case of not which character is the fastest, but which character you can gel with the most. So, for example, I've seen, when it comes to like the ILs, so the individual levels for this game, I've seen people playing as Lucy, I've seen people playing as Chrissy, I've seen people playing as some of the other characters, because they have got their own unique driving styles, which I think is very cool, very unique. Obviously, switching characters during the game doesn't exactly help. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, okay, so this is just circuit racing, right? Not quite. So for the most part, there is circuit racing in here, so you also do a couple of laps. As you can tell, the races aren't too long, which is quite good. Then you get stuff like this. So this is what we call a rally. Now, for those that know me, I do love my racing games, rally games. And funnily enough, we do have a beach ball. There's a few behind us. No, this wasn't deliberate, by the way, with the beach balls. But anyway, you can actually whack them and you can knock them down the thing. But for those that don't know what rallying is, it is essentially point A to point B, fastest time wins, and you have splits as you go through. Now, for the sake of things, I'm pretty sure the developers went with this, which was the fact that you can obviously, you've got two, as you can see, there's split 2 out of 3, not too many. So there's other things as well in this game I can probably mention. So, as I said, there is side events, things like that. But for the most part, it is fairly straightforward. So what I'm using here, just to kind of give you a bit of a heads into, well, look into this. So you can see on the bottom right hand side that we have a what's it called? Speedometer. There we go. And you can see at the next to it, you have a what's it called? You have a meter that goes up. So we have a drift button, we press the drift button, and then what happens is, well, that's it. You have a drift button, you use that, and that fills up the thing. After each one, you get a thing saying, yep, here you go, you beat every race in the series. And as a result, we're on to the next one. Now each one, just to kind of mention, each Grand Prix has a different character that we've got, a different rival. So we have, I think it's like there's 12 characters, so I think it's something like 10 or 11 Grand Prix to do. And we have the Rally Mania Grand Prix, which is 9 Grand Prix, which is a mix of races. But yeah, for the most part, I think, to be honest, it's, like I said, it's not too hard to pick up. The main thing for me is that in this game, in a lot of racing games, so just to kind of mention something in particular here. So, in like modern racing games especially, and I suppose in the old stuff too, you'll be able to set your vehicle up. And a lot of people are like, I don't know how to set a vehicle up. Well, you know, how do I know what suspension does? But in this game, they've simplified it. So you get what you want your suspension to do, what you want your tyres to do, you can obviously choose your paintwork, things like that. And I believe as well, you can sort the boost system. I forget exactly how that one works, but essentially, yeah, you can modify the car to your liking. Me personally, I prefer a car that's not got too high acceleration but has a lot of grip. Mainly because of the fact that I have tried the vehicles that have a higher top speed, and they have a much lower grip level, which basically just means that by having a lower grip level, the car's not able to grip around. Also, yeah, you go across a back marker, that happens. You can just send them 150 feet into the distance and they blow up. So, back markers aren't really a thing in this game. You can destroy them, which is fun. Although it does slow you down, so there is that.
You did say that this game's fairly easy to pick up.
Yes.
It's not. That's just you.
Okay, maybe that's just me. Either way, I digress.
Because we were playing the demo together and you took to it like glue.
Skill issue. That's all
It
I'm
is.
saying. No, it is one of them games, I suppose, that does take a bit of timing, but for me personally, compared to other racing titles that I've played that are arcade-ish, I'd say, I mean, maybe if you're into sort of stuff like Mario Kart, you probably pick this up relatively fast. So I suppose, in a way,
No, I would
it's
say
kid-friendly.
It's harder.
I wouldn't.
It's
But again,
fast-paced and title terms and stuff.
I tell you what, let's agree to disagree. Try it for yourself.
I'm just
And see
saying,
what
I'm
you
more
think.
used to kart races.
Yeah.
This is, I would say, an in-between between normal racing games and kart races.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yes and no. I think one of the main things that does stand out about this is the fact that the environments as well, it's fast and frantic. I do think that keeping the races to a minimum is a really good thing. I mean, unsurprisingly, some of the races towards the back end of the Grand Prix and things like that are much longer, but it does make things a bit easier. Also, you
It
can
should work, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should. It should work. I was just curious, like, wait, what? I got
Don't worry about it.
God, yeah. But host wants to say anything? They can do. got anything to mention?
Yes, I would like to remind people that when you're donating, don't forget to donate and add the bid wars or incentives. We have Kirby's Block Ball, see the real ending. Coming up, it's just the third run, and make sure that you click that button to donate toward those incentives. And then I was also told that I could not be heard for the first few donations that I read, so I will reread them. We had a 69 krona donation from Patty2 saying hi. We had a 250 krona donation from HUD601 saying, good morning, Macro Speedrun Refinement. I am your supervisor, Mr. Hudzik. Today's task is to review your quarterly speedrun strats and identify the glitches. You may receive rewards along the way for coming in under estimate. Remember, the speedruns are important and mysterious. Good luck. And the last one that I had read earlier was 200 krona from Zanipe saying, NSG hype.
Hype. So I've been informed I have to eat the mic.
I don't think that's what they don't actually eat it. I can't imagine what that do to your digestive system. But I mean,
What do you mean the yellow foam isn't good for my digestive system?
I mean, I can't even begin to imagine the chemicals and stuff that are in that microphone. To be honest, like you're forgetting the fact that it's got electricals in it. It's like I'm sure they'll digest somehow. Anyhow, so. Well, this is obviously another unique one. So obviously with it being in a castle, I don't know. I always get the feeling of. I was watching Shrek, weren't we, not too long ago, and it always reminds me of the land of very, very far away with the castle. I don't know
very,
why.
very far away?
Yeah.
No, it's far, far away.
Far, far. I don't know what it is. I forget.
How dare you?
I don't know my Shrek lore. Ooh. Also, take a look at the track layout. That's going to be quite fun when it comes to drifting. I'm just going to say that much. But yeah. One of the kind of main things to mention is that, like I said, this game is an indie game, so it's a case of if for people wondering like, oh, this doesn't look 4K, and it's like, you know, some games can be really fun without looking like, you know, they're so realistic. They can look really good. I mean, personally speaking, you know, credit where credit is definitely due. I do think that the guys at the company at Playtonic Games have done a fantastic job of this. Not only that, I think the music works quite well too.
Like the music shout out music.
Yeah, music's pretty good too. Some of the music may repeat. There is one particular soundtrack that I think a lot of people here may enjoy. I won't spoil it, but I will wait till it shows up, and then you can be the judge of it. So one of the main things is that obviously we have this stadium environment, which we've obviously seen, I think, at least twice now. But it doesn't matter, it's fine. It will show up again, and you're like, oh, okay, it'll show up again. But I think what's quite nice about it is the fact that the environment's, like I said, I know it's a case of it's all the whole pixel art sort of thing, but there seems to be, I mean, there has been like the last couple of years a massive resurgence in not just indie games, but everything. So
well, it helps things stand out a lot better. Like I'm getting tired of seeing hyper-realistic everything. Whereas with pixel art, you can do so much more. Make things more colourful, make things more stand out.
Yeah, it is really, really good. I do like the idea of someone going for something different. And granted, okay, it probably won't be the first, and it probably won't be the last racing game that's got this sort of art style.
Oh,
but
absolutely
I do
not.
particularly like it for that reason. I will say as well, so the way that the... I've kind of forgot to mention this bit. So, the actual races themselves are split up. So they have 3 groups. So there's Group Alpha, Group Z, and Group X, I think it is. Or Group Alpha, X, and Z. And then you have Rally Mania. Now, in each one, as I was saying, you do have, in each group, or each set, you've got 3 different tours, which is quite cool. And as a result, it kind of opens things up, which is very, very cool. But kind of go back to before what I was saying with the side races is that some of them are unique in their structure. For example, one of the main ones, you obviously have stuff like, oh, okay, you've got to like make it past a certain amount of checkpoints and things like that. You've got to set a certain time for some of them, things like that. You know, nice and easy. But the main thing above all else is a case of, well, one thing in particular. There's one race, I can't remember it's called off the top of my head, but there's one particular race type which I'm not a massive fan of, but the developers have been kind enough to include, I guess, which is you have several gates, and you have to make sure that you're boosting through the gates. So you have to drift like either right before it. So right now, you can see in a minute. So when I'm drifting, you can see that something flashes on the screen. So that means that I'm obviously boosting. Now in this particular race type, you have to make sure that you're crossing these checkpoints or whatever they are with said boost lines on the screen.
Oh, boost challenges or drift challenges.
That's it. So they are pretty good in that regard. That's one of them. The other one as well, which if we've got time, doubt it, but if I have chance, I might be able to show it off. Probably use the earliest one. But we do have these duel races against the rivals that we are fighting. So after you do a Grand Prix, we'll be able to challenge these guys. Also, roller coasters, if they were in a video game and they were a track and you could drive them, yeah.
Roller coasters if they were good.
I mean, it's it does remind me a lot of for some reason with like all the heights, the dips and the peaks and everything. It does remind me a lot of the F-Zero games in a way, especially F-Zero GX. I think it is. Is it FX? GX one there? GX? I think it is GX. Isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't played them myself.
GameCube. But I know that involves a lot of you know, going up and down hills and peaks and summits and stuff like that.
There's a lot of verticality in this track.
Yeah. Which I do quite like about it. Obviously, there are certain games that I've played where they can't really do hills that well. And I'm not talking like adventure games, I mean like genuine games like this. But yeah, the other thing is as well, to kind of keep with the retro style of game, by the way, to kind of keep with it, is later on we do have, what's it called? We do have Space Invaders coming up. Now, I will be honest, it's not the original, sorry to disappoint, but it's the 1999 remake that was released on the PS1, PC, and I think the Saturn might have got it as well, I can't remember.
No one remembers the Saturn, it's fine. It doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, that's coming from you, I'm not saying nothing. I didn't have one as a kid, so I can't say. I wasn't a Sega fanboy, so there you go. Anyhow, so there is another thing as well to mention. So there are unique challenges as well. So at the moment we've got, obviously, we're just doing the races and things like that. But there are, again, just to go back to the side races, there's one, I think it's set on this particular race. I could be wrong, but there's one particular race that we will do later on, which is a bit like this. It is like a farmyard sort of theme sort of thing. And it takes place at night. And what you have to do is you have to make sure that you beat a certain time. And okay, fair enough. It's a glorified time trial, you could say, but it's not a unique. It's not a standard time trial because it has a challenge, which is these UFOs are hovering all around the place, and as soon as they get in front of you, they just stop. And if you basically get hit by one of them, then you blow up, and it's not like game over, you carry on. But it does mean that you'll end up like losing time, obviously. The idea is to try and drive as fast as possible, but drive around the UFOs. Like I said, there's a few unique ones, unique races. Personally speaking, the rally ones are my favourite, because they are just point A to point B, which is something I very much like. Ironically, given the fact that this game is called Victory Heat Rally, you'd expect rally to take centre stage, and it doesn't. It's more circuit racing.
You know, something funny about that stage reminds me a lot of a certain game you played with a red puppet at a certain event that is not not allowed to be talked about.
Elmo? Is it Elmo? I guess. I don't know.
Do you not remember one of the stages is filled with like sunflowers at a barn or something?
I can't remember.
He doesn't even remember his own speed game.
I've done a lot, okay? Give me a break.
Skill issue.
No, that's just that's brain fog. Brain fog moment. I presume you're on about Elmo, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, why can't we talk about him again? He's not the forbidden fruit or anything.
It
We can
is.
talk about it. No, it's fine.
We can't. We're not allowed to talk about him here.
Is this going to be like one of them Fight Club moments? So yeah,
Hello?
versus the full thrill about I just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyhow. As our host, guys, would you like to talk about anything in particular? It can be anything to do with the game in particular, or
Absolutely.
general?
I actually have a few donations I'll give you now.
Yeah, sure.
We had 250 krona from Newt saying, been looking forward to this run, for a long time. Been trying to catch previous events so far too. Go NSG. Go fast, break games, and raise all the monies. Hype.
Hype.
We also have 50 krona from Elmo himself saying, Elmo liked this game. Make Elmo proud, Viper. Go, Viper, go.
Oh dear.
Who let him in here?
Yeah, who let Elmo in? Who let him in?
Elmo want more racing.
Oh no. It's haunting me. The stuff of my nightmares.
Elmo knows where you live.
Oh god, not that line. No. Oh dear. You can thank Skemmy for making that so iconic, I guess. Literally, by the way, that was a last-minute decision. I forgot to mention that. Oops. Hello. Oh, I forgot that. I just clicked the wrong button there. Yeah. So that was an interesting decision. That came up literally like 2 minutes before I did the Elmo run as well. If you've not seen it, don't Google it. It's on YouTube somewhere, on UKSG's channel somewhere.
Saying don't Google it makes
yeah,
it sound bad.
I know. No, it's not. It's probably the best. I'll be honest, I still think to this day, it's probably one of the most fun runs I've ever done myself. Like, don't get me wrong, I've done, you know, I do enjoy my runs that I do. It's just a case of like with Elmo, that particular one, I think Skemmy just made that with how it was, to be honest. Either way. Oh, we got anything you want to mention? Gone quiet.
Yeah. So, what's the rival system? Have we talked about the rival system yet?
I don't think we have, no. I don't think we have. How do I explain the rival system? Okay, so, the rival system, it doesn't really take much of like an actual presence in the game, I'd say. In each... Actually, no, I suppose it does.
Are you just
Think
too
about
good that you never take notice?
Kind of. No, I think for the most part, so the rival system is in every single race anyway. So you have a certain rival, you race them all throughout the races, then you get to the Grand Prix, you defeat them in the Grand Prix. You don't have to win every race as well with the Grand Prix, you can lose one or two, as well as you win the rest. But then there is this unique part of it, which is after you defeat them and you go after the rivals to win their cars, which is kind of funny because it's like the whole like defeat a rival and win their car thing. That's been a system for quite a while, but I do like that feature. I will actually say as well, which is a big plus. I think this kind of it's a stupid point to bring up, but personally speaking, a reason why you probably enjoy this game, there's no microtransactions. Yeah! It's an actual video game! Anyway, controversy aside, yeah, no, like, one of the things recently, so the Victory Heats Rally community, a lot of them are obviously pushing to try and get, like, the best ILs and things like that. The guy who's got the record, he's only got the record by about 12 seconds, but it's very tightly knit. The NA%, I think there's about a minute difference between me and the world record, but the Grand Prix is like 12 seconds throughout the entire run, which isn't a lot, really. It sounds like a lot in racing terms, but realistically, like 12 seconds when it comes down to like near perfect driving and stuff like that. And I think that I drive well. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I generally don't know.
Is that RTA or IGT?
RTA.
RTA.
Yeah.
Well, even still, that's, what, 12 seconds over how many races?
I think it's something like 3 races. 9 Grand Prix, 3 races each, 27 plus 9. 36.
Yeah, so like if you're half a second off, even on most of them, that's well over 12 seconds, so
Yeah. I think I am like lapping within like a second or two. Like the thing is though, I've actually done I've not done any like at the ILs individually, but I was looking at what I was doing versus what the guys were doing, and obviously like when they get like a near perfect run, they are literally getting a time that's like 1 or 2 seconds faster. But then again, how they drift on the tracks is really good, like really good.
really hugging corners and stuff like that, I should imagine.
Yeah, like they can really, like when it comes to the drifting part of it, like the drifting is something else for them. They are just insane at what they can do. The one thing is as well, I will just mention, so Lucy's character is extremely tough to defeat. There is one guy as well that's coming up, I don't know how soon, but yeah, he's coming up fairly shortly, and he's got a very high top speed, so keeping up with him or even beating him is also kind of damn near impossible. Yeah, I think the other thing as well with the time attack, like leaderboards, is the fact that on a time attack you don't race against the 11 other cars. So all it is that is literally coming down to, you know, people just driving the backside off and be like, yeah, we can drive fast, it's fine.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about crashing into the other cars and slowing down and stuff.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. There's another thing as well that I do like about marathon runs too. I don't have to worry about hitting the split key after every race.
True.
Just like, I can
True.
just concentrate on the run, it works out.
I mean, you could also just do that full stop.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I choose not to.
I choose to cause myself pain.
I choose to make sure that everything's all done and dusted. But yeah, like I said, for the most part, the game is relatively self-explanatory. It is a point A to point B racing game for the most part. There is a lot of circuit racing in here. Personally speaking, like I said before, it's subject to opinion. Personally for me, I think it was a lot easier to pick up than some other games. Linky less so, but again, I'd probably say I think there might be a demo of this on Steam, possibly. If there isn't, probably wait for it to come on Steam. There is actually something that which I forgot to mention, which is unique. So, in terms of this game being on sale, you can buy this on Steam for, I think it's something like maybe £15 or something like that.
Yep, £15.49.
However, there's a pack that you can buy. I think it's called like the Pixel Art pack or something.
Buy Pixel Cars Go Bundle.
And it's got this in it. There's Parking Garage Rally Circuit, I think. And
Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom.
Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom, which I think a lot of people here may be familiar with. Or have heard of, that's for sure.
It's a very good bundle to pick up if you're interested.
Yeah. I haven't played Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom, but I do have the bundle. I do remember actually like looking at it going, yeah, I've been told I should try and play Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom because, you know, it's a car. Why not?
It's a car.
Anyway, I think that is the 5th one that I've finished now. Something like that. So, yeah. We got the first play screen, all good. There we go. Alright, and on to the next one, the Bullseye Tour.
So when it comes to tours, is it you have to finish at the top of the table?
Basically, yeah, when you get the when you have the first, what's it called? The
Track,
as
table,
long as
tour.
you're first, that's it. Yeah. Alright, as long as you're first at the end of the races, you're fine.
But you can slip up here now and still be fine. Type thing.
Yeah. Also, this is like literally racing on the edge stuff. Ooh. Also, that's what happens when you, yeah.
Yeah, I think this was one of the ones in the demo that I really struggled with.
And even I still struggle with it. A perfect run would probably get this. Like, I probably would have been in the lead by now if I got it properly, but it is actually really difficult to try and get in the lead sometimes. But then there are times like that where it just isn't. I think for me, it's mainly the start and just trying to get a decent start.
Yeah.
Not only that as well, but then getting in the lead is one thing. The next bit is, well, the back markers, which come up pretty thick and fast as well. So one of the things you've probably noticed as well when it comes to looking at the standings is you have just like player ones, you know, generic players and things like that. The Rally Mania bit at the end, even though it has like player 1, player 2, I'm fairly certain you're racing the other 11 racers in the game at the end, because the cars are all unique, whereas they seem to repeat a lot during the Grand Prix, during these. Like, the only difference being that you might see like 1 or 2 cars, but for the most part it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's fine. And across the line, there we go, nice and easy. Like I said, short and sweet, very nice. Very nice.
I think this is one of the best tracks to show how far off the edge you can technically be off without falling off as well.
The other thing is as well is I really like the water levels. For some reason, I don't know why, there's just something about them that's so pleasing on the eyes.
Blue.
I don't know why, it just is.
Or the blue.
Yeah, I think the music as well is very kid-friendly as well. Like, I don't think there's anything that I would class as scary for kids. Also, I may have just took somebody else with me there. Whoops. It has that feel-good vibe about it as well.
Yeah, it's hard to explain it without, you know, playing it. It's just, it controls well, it feels nice, it looks nice, it sounds nice.
I will
Everything about it is just nice.
I will just kind of mention as well, which I haven't mentioned, is that this game is available on the Nintendo Switch. So if you want to pick this up for your kids, you can do. I believe at the moment there's a 10% sale. I don't know if that's limited to us in the UK though. I know that it's on sale on the Nintendo store.
Please check your regional eShop
yeah.
for this information.
But yeah, you can buy. I think it is like I think 12 or 13 pounds or something to buy digitally. But yeah, I would recommend picking it up, but not just for the sake of, oh, okay, well, I'm a racing guy and it's a racing game and stuff like that, but generally because of the fact that it's an indie developer, and as we know with the gaming industry being as harsh as it is at the moment, I'm not going to go too controversial with this, but basically with it being as harsh as it is, with people being laid off and things like that, obviously, you know, the games industry needs your support. Me personally, I've turned from the AAA industry supporting to the indie developers, because with indie developers you get gems like this.
I wouldn't say that's controversial opinion.
Is it not?
No, I would say many people agree with you with indie games nowadays.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think I've said this before, but if I haven't, that I was one of them people that did look down on the indie market, on the indie scene, and was basically like, yeah, I don't really think indie games are that good, and I didn't really buy them, and you know, stuff like that. That was the main thing above all else, and I just remember thinking, like, there wasn't too much that came out of the indie scene that was worth talking about or worth playing or anything like that. And I don't know, I think it was a case of, because of the price of games going up, so I mean, this wasn't like when games were 40 quid, but when they were up to 60 with like the release of the PS4 and the Xbox One, that I just turned around and was like, I don't really see the point in spending £60 anymore. I can't justify spending the money on a new game these days.
Well, it's £60 on a game that only lasts for a few hours, has the same graphics as last year. Not much has changed. There might be a ton of bugs.
It depends on the game. Like, if we're talking something like FIFA, then yeah. It's just same game, different season. There you go, F1. Sorry, same thing.
But yet, you know, with help with games from, like, you know, Undertale being the key example, that only cost a few quid, 5 or 10 quid it was, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
It you know, the indie scene has really boomed, and, you know, they're winning awards now, they're getting into other games.
They even got their own gaming awards, the Indie Gaming Awards,
yeah.
Which a couple of years ago, I think even they said didn't feel was possible. But yeah, I think as well it's quite a unique thing. I know that there is an event online which hasn't been around for a bit, but there was an event called Indie-thon, which was based around indie titles and things like that. And I'll be honest as well, in this day and age, I am very much a case of most of the games that I'm now playing. I mean, granted, there are still AAA stuff that I'm playing, but
of course, yeah.
it's not modern AAA games. I think the last AAA game I actually played properly, as in bought and played, I think was probably The Crew, whatever it's called, The Crew.
My condolences.
No, not the first one. The Crew. What's the new one? Motorfest. That one. Because I got it on. It was on sale near Christmas, not last year, the year before, and ended up playing it for a little bit, and that was it. And that was, I think, the last time I played a AAA game that was new. That is. Whereas it's like, you know, I'll play AAA games, but the ones I am playing are the ones that are from like 15 years ago. The ones that I actually liked, that didn't get full of microtransactions and stuff like that.
What do you mean you don't want to pay 40 quid for a skin?
Anyway, rather than going down the rabbit hole, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Let's not. You can send that 40 quid to NSG instead.
Yeah, there you go. There's a good advertisement. The money you would spend on a modern game, yeah, give it to us instead. No, that sounds greedy. Sorry. No, I mean, a case of, like I said, if I could recommend games, I'd recommend checking out the indie scene because there have been some very unique titles. I mean, there was a game that released not too long ago. Actually, there's a few racing-wise. So obviously there's this that came out in October. There was Old School Rally as well that came out towards last year.
Super Spec Cross?
Super Spec Rallycross, yeah, that was another one. And the other one, there's another that I'm missing. Hashtag Drive Rally, I think. There was others as well. From what I can remember, I think it was something like, what was it called? There was another one. Forget the name of it. Ugh. Gone from my head and I can't remember. I know what it looks like, but
That's not much help.
no, I know. It was something.
It was something.
It was something. It was certainly something. Okay, so this is the first of the hard ones. This guy here. So this race, you'll see just how difficult this guy can be. He's got a very high top speed, something we don't have, so keeping up with him is very, very tough.
Thankfully, this is a very wiggly course, so you have to get your boosts up to keep up with him.
Thing is, he just disappears. So I have to make sure I can keep up with him. If I can, I might be able to win, but that's a long shot. You can already tell as well that the AI has been increased tenfold. So even the AI is giving me trouble, not just him. So if I can.
Yeah, it's a progressive AI. I believe it's the correct term.
Well, the thing is, I had a look at the difficulties, and I did the original Grand Prix set. And the original Grand Prix set on the hardest difficulty, and I just about managed to beat the AI on like one or two of the races. Ended up finishing second on another one. I was just like, holy hell. Okay.
Yeah, this game can be very hard when it wants to be. It's not a walk in the park.
Obviously, I think it goes without saying this game's not the easiest in the world.
Which is good, because I feel like a lot of racing games do sometimes be too easy.
Yeah.
You know, I think you were mentioning as well when you were first playing it, it's the first game in a while that's actually challenged you.
I actually beat him. God damn. Must have been driving fast. Wow. That's the first time in a while I beat him, to be fair. First time in a while. God damn. That did take a lot out of me. Luckily now, this is where things ease up. Things get easier now. Because there's a lot of corners on this. Square corners.
Oh my god.
He can't do them corners that fast. Also, or just does that. He can just drive off the course like that. I was going to say, that's not supposed to happen. He said the line. But yeah, as you can see as well, he's being left for dust. He is... So that's another thing as well. I can't remember which other game does it off the top of my head. But I do know that there is one game in particular that basically has... I think this does just show... About to hit that
oh yeah,
too
you could just cut corners and go back on track like that.
But
It's a feature.
I think it was a case of. So the yellow arrow, so the red arrow is obviously us. The yellow one is whoever's behind us. I do believe that is in another game as well, except it's usually your rival. I think it would have been more unique if it was your rival. It's the rival you need to be. Like, technically speaking, you can win. Yeah, you can win these, but without actually winning most of the races, I think. I've not, like, put it completely to the test, but I have won, you know, this particular championship thing, Grand Prix, without him actually getting anywhere near the top 4. It's quite unique, very unique. There we go. Very nice. So, 2 races done, 2 to go. Now, like I said before, we do have, after this one, we do have, apart from the next 2 races, we do have 2 Grand Prix come up after that. The last one has got Lucy in it, and is quite an experience because she's supposed to be a very tough nut to crack. However, when you fight fire with fire, you come out on top, which is quite unique, I think. The fun thing is that in the races, he doesn't seem to do that well. Also, this seems to happen too, where they just, for some odd reason, I don't know why, they always seem to hit that final corner, which is quite funny. Also, the check feature thing that you can see when someone's behind you, I'm pretty sure, isn't that off like Daytona?
What, the checkpoint?
Like where they, no, like where they have something flashing on the screen to say like someone's there.
Oh, I wouldn't know where it's from.
I mean, it's been in a lot of games before, but
yeah.
The one that I think is probably most notable from is like, it's not in Sega Rally, I know that, but I'm sure it's been an arcade game like maybe Daytona. Maybe someone in chat might know, I don't know. But, if our host has anything they'd like to talk about, feel free to do so.
Absolutely. I will again remind everybody that the Kirby's Block Ball See the Real ending is coming up in just a few runs. So make sure when you're donating, you are donating toward that bid or that incentive. We really do want to see the real ending. But I do have a few donations for you. I have one from Nanaki Emmy saying, "Good morning, NSG. Looking forward to an awesome weekend of runs and raising money for charity. Good luck to all runners, commentators, hosts, tech, and other background staff and volunteers. You will all do great. Also, Viper, go faster already."
Thanks, Emmy.
And
He's
then
already wearing his Subaru stuff.
I'm
He
wearing-
can't
yeah.
go faster.
I'm trying.
I have one more as well from Christian Royale saying, 169 krona from Christian Royale saying, "Hello NSG, it's a shame I couldn't make it this time, but I'll be sure to support and watch from home. Best of luck to all runners, and I hope everyone enjoys the event."
Thank you, Emmy. Thank you, Chris. Two great people from the UKSG community, and highly recommend getting to know them. They are both very interesting people in their own right. Chris could talk to you about card games, Emmy, tech, and cars, as I found out not too long ago. I think it was probably maybe about a year or 2 years ago. I found out that Emmy was really into cars and really was into Subarus too. And that was an interesting conversation. And only realised this after the UKSG event had finished. It's like, aha. But yeah, both are interesting characters. Definitely worth getting to know people. I think at events like this, it is worth, just in general as well, not just UKSG, but every event like this, getting to know people and make new friends is always a massive part of it. It's always a huge part of it, to be honest. It's fantastic. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. I made some amazing friends. I even made a good partner. I was gonna say made a good partner then. Bloody hell, fine. But met my partner, and yeah, it was yeah, it could happen. You know, things can happen. You just don't know. Anyhow, personal things aside, but yeah, so like I said, this game only released towards the back end of last year. Just kind of to keep on top, by the way, of indie games, we did actually show off an indie game. Both myself and Linky showed off a game last year that was also from the indie games market by the name of Geno Panic, which is a, well, go on, Metroidvania, not Metroidvania?
Metroidvania-like.
Metroidvania-like game, set in space, in a space station. You have genetically modified, what they call them?
Organisms?
Yeah, GMOs,
I believe that's what the O means.
at least so.
It would make the most sense.
I can't really think of anything else. Well, nothing that
Objects?
matches it. Genetically modified I don't think it would be. But yeah, that was also an indie game that was developed by... Oh god.
Mobile.
You, alright. I can't remember every one, but yes. And that's also a game that's definitely worth picking up. Like I said, for indie titles, I think that, as I was saying before, like indie games are very much, you know, I think very much that the indie game scene has become exponential in the last couple of years, especially the last couple of like 2 or 3 years. I think COVID, whilst it was a bad thing, I think also helped with indie gaming industry a little bit, in the sense of new ideas and stuff like that. I'm not saying that people can't do it now, because of course they can. But yeah, it's very, very cool. And yeah, I'd definitely recommend checking out. If you've not already, definitely recommend checking out indie titles. They're easy to find on Steam. You can source them by indie titles. However, just be warned as well, whilst indie titles are there, I will just kind of mention. Oop, there we go.
Uh-oh.
I think the control didn't disconnect there. I think I got stuck. It's fine.
Just a bit of extra challenge.
Yeah, deliberately did that. But like in terms of the indie game scene, there are a fair few people that will be making games in the indie games industry. And when I say bear in mind, if you search for indie, you might be surprised to find all sorts on Steam. So just be careful with what you're looking at. I think that's kind of common practice with Steam
Yeah,
games.
the Steam
just be careful.
Greenlight has definitely helped the indie scene, but it's definitely also hindered it at the same time.
Yeah, and not for the sake of that, like, games aren't selling or anything like that. It's that with the whole green lit thing, you can imagine the sort of stuff that Steam might have.
Like, anyone
on
can
there.
submit anything to it, but at the same time, anyone can submit anything to it.
So yeah, just be careful when browsing for indie titles. If you were to go for indie games, just play them in general. Just a kind of disclaimer, I think that's kind of just common practice, but in case people don't know about that, you can put filters and stuff on to block that kind of stuff out. On a different note though, yeah, the indie game scene very much is a case of it has very unique ideas. Some games may seem like, oh, this was done like 25, 30 years ago. It's not a unique concept. Yeah, but it's the AAA gaming industry done it, though, is the main thing. Like, granted,
Well,
you
it's
could
even
say
just-
the AAA gaming industry is like, okay, it's doing Mario Kart, things like that. Okay, fine. But have they done anything that's like this sort of pixel art? I don't think so.
Well, it's not just they did this 30
Basic
years
ones.
ago, have they done it since as well? Many,
Yeah.
you know, franchises have been dropped, and, you know, many indie studios have picked up that, quote-unquote, picked up that franchise, let's say.
I mean, one of the main things as well, to kind of just mention about the indie game market is that there is a massive community that is still making games today for an old system, which Tiny Tim, who's a member of UKSG, and Digital Duck as well, that I know of, can attest to, maybe Ruffled Bricks as well, that essentially what we mean by this is that the ZX Spectrum community is still making new games today, and for a console, a platform that is quite old,
That was discontinued like 30 years ago plus.
games are still being made for it. Supposedly it's because of how easy they are to make for the platform, but that's beside the point whether they're easy to make or not. Computer, sorry, Tim's in the chat, he's correcting me. Thank you, Tim. But regardless, you know, they're still making these games for this old platform. It's very interesting. Also, this was the music I meant. This was the bit I mentioned, by the way.
Any weebs in chat?
Probably like
Please
this.
make yourself known. You'll see why in just a second.
Anyone that likes Initial D will probably love this. And I'm pretty sure that's what this is an ode to. I mean,
It is.
It can't not be, can it? Let's be honest.
No, it 100% is. This is what happens within the first couple episodes. You do I believe it is a tofu run down a winding mountain road, and you are not allowed to spill any water.
Influenced by pop culture? I think so. The
So
other thing
it's
is
got,
as well-
yeah, got the big long winding road, has the Euro beat. It's Initial D.
Damn it. I wasn't sure if I'd get him there. There we go. And obviously the main idea of the game as well is drifting, isn't it? It's like, yeah. Don't worry, this will be back later. I will just spoil that now. This is coming back, you'll see this again. Don't you worry.
Another season of Initial D? No way.
But yeah, and that is the end of that Grand Prix. I think we have one more Grand Prix to go, and then that is it for the main Grand Prix, to which then it's literally the case of, the longest bit. So now, oh no, actually no, I was wrong. This is
Why
the
don't
second
you?
to last one. The second to last one. There's one more after this. Still got to fight Lucy yet. So the funny thing is as well, like, by the time we get to the end of the Grand Prix as well, you'll get to the end and it'll be like, oh, okay, we've got the end of the Grand Prix. Okay, I see. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as it found out, just about anything. There we go. Okay, so this is actually another race as well, which is difficult to win. Not impossible, you can win it, but you really have to fight for it. Like, he says that and just takes the lead, but believe me, see what I mean? He's not stopping.
There he is.
He's not stopping. Like, getting a lead, getting a gap on this guy is friggin' difficult. It is a task and a half. So I have to make sure I'm boosting like near every corner.
Are you leaning into your chair?
Yes, I have to. I'm having a gamer moment. There we go. Okay, right. One more lap to go. I think we've got him. It's funny how you're like, are you leaning? Of course I'm leaning. It's the lean. It's the gaming lean.
Are you using motion controls?
God, this with motion controls, I'd be sick. I'm not even kidding. I actually would feel sick. There is actually something that I've not mentioned. So you notice that when we got, I should have mentioned this at the start, but basically, you know when we go into the corners, you see the camera tilt? Yeah, you can really tilt the camera or really balance it. So
yeah, this is only about halfway, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about in the middle. This is like standard. But if I turned everything to full lean, you'd be literally like that going around the corners.
It's near enough like a proper full 75-degree turn.
Which is insane.
You didn't even play. You just watched the demo doing. You just like,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely not.
That's that's actually something else as well, which is really cool. So to test out like the camera and the audio, the game plays on its own in the menus, in the options menu. So it's like an in-game thing. It'll show you when the cars are drifting and everything else, plus music, plus plus whatever you want, basically.
It is a very nice thing to have, rather than you going into your sense, setting it all up, having to go into a race, coming back out. It does help cut out that middleman a bunch.
I
And
actually
I
couldn't
think-
remember what the music was for this level. I was just like, it's music of some kind. This is very
It is
much,
something.
Is that just going to be the title of NSG this year?
It might
It's
very well
something.
be.
It is something.
I mean, the next game coming up is something.
I mean, you submitted it.
I did. It is something.
And I'm ashamed to say I played it.
He did. He did chat.
I was curious, okay? That's all it was. I was just
That's how I get you.
I was just a little curious. I was like, I'll play that for 5 minutes. Proceeds to play like the full thing.
No, you played Green Hill.
On stage, that's something. My favourite game. It is something.
I love playing something.
Do I have time to jump in with a quick donation?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to announce that we have hit the Kirby's Block Ball See the Real ending with an amazing 3,000 krona donation from Qubit. So,
Bloody
great
hell.
stuff there.
Thank you very much. I feel like saying, tell me more, tell me more. I was going to say, is there any donation incentives that you want to read regarding the event that was coming up?
Yeah, so coming up, now that we've hit that, we have some bid wars for choosing the category and Abby's costume, as well as Ellie's costume for, there's an acronym here that I am actually unaware of. So
The Last of Us.
Yes, that would be, there you go.
Part two.
Yes, that's coming up later tonight, but you can start putting in your donations toward those costume choices or the category as well.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's an insane donation, Bob. Like, holy hell. Wow. So the thing is as well is, on this particular race, getting the gold in this is actually really difficult to get. For the time trial mode, and I remember it taking a couple of attempts to get it. However, in the actual Grand Prix, as you can see, we don't need to do anything to do with that. It's fine. All good. All good. Also, another rally stage, so another point, say point and click then. Another point-to-point race. So, nice and easy. Yeah, I know that like a lot of the soundtrack is probably starting to loop now. However, don't worry, the end is nigh. But like I said, for me personally, it's not one of them soundtracks that I get annoyed at that much because, so I think in certain racing games, and personally speaking, and maybe I'm not alone, but there are certain games where the soundtrack overstays its welcome. And I don't think this game is one of them, personally. Not just saying that because it's like, oh, I like the soundtrack. It's nothing to do with that. It's mainly the fact that the game itself is a case of it's fast and frantic, so you never hear like the full soundtrack. I think the full soundtrack is 2.5 to 3 minutes maybe per like stage.
Yeah, you're never really on these stages for much more than 1.5 minutes maybe.
Yeah. Depending. I mean, the last one you're on it for, I think, like 2.5 minutes. Which is called like the Velociraptor or something like that.
I mean, that's to be expected. It's the last one, but most of these are, like we mentioned earlier, being so fast and frantic does help with the speed of the game. So you don't hear much. And I think because there is that many, that by the time you hear it again, it has been, you know, maybe a full hour or so.
Yeah. I think this is it.
Also,
okay,
all the sound effects as well. Half the time you can't really hear the soundtrack too much.
True. Oh, the music has returned. It's for this one. You can tell now this is the drifting circuit.
Oh.
But this is probably about now where the music actually helps. Because now we're fighting fire with fire. So this is Lucy. I know what you're gonna say.
Is Lucy a weeb?
You're racing as Lucy. Yes, I am. But this is what I was saying when I fight fire with fire. Because she's extremely quick in the corners. And believe me, I would love to say that she's not difficult, but she really is. Like, the entirety of her races are hard. So I've got to really go for it on this one.
Well, she is the last rival, so...
Yeah, her duel is even worse. So you may remember before, like, we had the, what we call a roller coaster ride. And you're up in the air and stuff like that. It's, yeah, it's friggin' nuts. Okay. Can I get anything before this race finishes? I don't know. Might be lucky if you can get third at this rate. Oh, the AI is being very aggressive today.
Lean more into your turns. I think that's your issue.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh, where'd she come from?
Only just. Whew.
I will also jump in to let you know that there's a hype train starting in chat.
Oh, wow.
So, hype.
Hype. Okay, I'll shoot Avenue. Oh, right. Where do I start with this one?
Oh my god.
Quite
That's
a bit.
just spaghetti.
Yeah. If spaghetti was a race, this would be it. Not only that, but yeah, unfortunately, just keeping ahead, just even progressing forward is difficult.
The good thing is, you're Lucy. She is good with corners. Bad news, your rival is also Lucy. She is good with corners.
Yeah. So now I've got to be aiming to block her wherever I can. Case in point. Come on. Come on. Ooh. No, Lucy. No. Okay, fine. Up you go. There. I suppose in a way as well, because you're that focused on the race itself, you don't actually focus on the lap counter. See, the races, I think that's another thing as well with this game, is that because you're that focused on beating your rival, and the other thing I will mention as well is that she's not rubber banding, by the way. That is legit her speed, with how fast she can go. And it's like, for me personally, I think that's why races go fast, because it's just like I'm that intrigued and indulged in the racing, trying to beat Lucy. I think that's why these races feel like they go by so quick. Okay, 2 down, 2 to go. Luckily, the last one's a piece of cake. It's just the third one. Or anything else. Okay, third race. I forget what it is. Ah, okay. Here's the. I may have forgotten about the fact that there is actually 2 of these in here. 2 initial D bits. It's funny how it's like you wait ages for one initial D moment and then 3 come along at once. Like, because of course they do.
I mean, I don't think anyone's going to complain. It's a nice surprise.
I didn't really think of it that way, to be honest. I never actually, like, when I was learning and doing runs of this at first, I never really noticed, like, the amount of, like, not stage variety, but the amount of stage stuff that there is. I don't know, stage themes, I think is the words I'm looking for here.
I'd say themes are probably a better word to use.
Yeah, it's interesting. Also, yeah, this is definitely more like initial D. This.
Yeah, everything's just hard rights, hairpin rights, hard winding left.
There you go.
I didn't even see you pass. Who?
Yeah, I was going that fast. Whoa. What?
Just hit my taco in the back.
I'm going too fast. Okay, so this is the last circuit in the game. However, this isn't over yet. We do have to do the Rally Mania Grand Prix, which consists of 9 races. Now, I will mention as well that if the AI was hard up until this point, then they'll be even tougher when it comes to the final race, personally speaking, the final set of races. Now, one thing's interesting about this as well is that the timing actually ends not when I cross the line, but when I see the first place trophy for Rally Mania. So, like I said, we've got another Grand Prix, but it's the main one, and it's a mix actually. So here's what I was trying to mention earlier on, is that in this particular, well, in the Grand Prix, you've done all of these races once before, so you're essentially recovering them. That's all you're doing. That's all the Grand Prix are. The Grand Prix just cover the 4 races you've done up until this point. But then you get the point of, okay, right, okay, so you've got, you know, the 4 races and everything like that. Rally Mania basically gets all 9 and mixes them all up. Just gets 9 random tracks and mixes them up and goes, right, okay, here you go. Don't worry, they're not actually 9 random. I'm just saying, like, they are, in the game's terms, they're random, but they are actually set races that you do. I can't remember the order of them, unfortunately, but yeah, there you go. Last lap for this race, and then we're all good. Have we got anything to mention, by the way, for charity or anything like that? Feel free to go right ahead.
I have another donation of 607.39 krona from Mod366 saying, according to Google, this is the equivalent to 50 euros. So let's see how much my bank account agrees with Google on this. But anyway, good luck to all the runners, and let's raise as much money for NABP as humanly possible.
I was going to say, the fact that we've nearly raised I know that there was that massive donation, but still, the fact that we've raised nearly 5,000, I'm like, you guys do realize this is just the first run, right? There's another 3 days. This is just the first run. Like, there's 3 days worth of stuff. I'm not the only person here. But no, regardless, thank you for all the donations that have come in so far. Obviously, charity, as always, will appreciate it. And with that, that's all the Grand Prix done, apart from one more, which is the Rally Mania. So for that, it says really quick, say yes, go back to the main map. And now what we're going to do is enter Rally Mania as Lucy. So, also, the character, by the way, the main character you've just seen, she's called Sally McRally. I'm pretty sure it's deliberate. And there's been a lot of like fan art drawn about her and some of the other characters as well. Funnily enough, somebody actually took the pixel art design for this, so the car with all its pixel art and everything like that, and managed to import it into Automobilista, I think it is, or Automobilista, I can't remember which one it is. A PS2 game that came out in 2002, which was heavily based around Japanese car culture and things like that. It was a fun game too. To be fair, that actually might be the next game I submit, to be honest. I just thought of that. There's a submission for the next NSG event, whenever that is.
Viper, I have a question from chat, or a request rather.
A request from chat? Okay, what's the request?
Can you say Lucy?
Do I have to? Is the question.
You don't have a choice.
Lucy.
I hope you're happy, Hoods.
Oh, is it Lucy? I don't know.
Lucy?
She can do it
like
better.
That.
There you go. Not even close. Thanks, Chris. Yeah. Oh, dear. Chris is immediately telling me off, going, no, try again, no. Like, no. Nice try, but no. Do I get
an attempt was made.
Do I get at least a consolation prize?
Your consolation prize is that we've almost hit 5,000.
Oh, that is my kind of consolation prize. No, to be fair, it's a case of, also I don't know what the AI is doing. I think they're going rogue. The AI's going frigging crazy at the moment. Yeah, I think we do see, we definitely see Tofu run again. I remember that bit. Because it's actually harder to do in the Rally Mania. These, all of these races, by the way, I think I've said before, so up until this point, the AI has been getting harder and harder. And I think for these, it's set on like the hardest difficulty yet, basically. So these races were a piece of cake to pull away from the AI on. Obviously, are making it look easy now, but realistically, you'll feel the difference between doing them normally in the normal races when you originally did them versus now. It definitely makes a difference of some kind.
Chad has just informed me that the t-shirt you won
Yeah,
is for Subaru.
I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
You don't want to say Subaru? I can't even say it myself anymore.
Anyway, 2 races down, 7 to go. I do like the whole like news thing that's spinning in the top left corner when it's waiting for the when the race is loading up, sort of thing.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about who your host is in the game. The news anchor is Sally McRae. She's a fun character, fun design, and very fun and fitting name.
I mean, to be honest, the thing is as well, you could tell with like all the characters that they had a field day drawing them. The thing is as well, in the Victory Heat Rally Discord, like some of the I think artists or developers or whatever have actually like done sketches. Obviously, like the community has done sketches and stuff like that.
Fun art.
But they've even done a few like not alternate designs, you know, but I suppose it is alternate designs, but it's like the way they've drawn her differently, you know, rather than the way she is in the game, which is how they originally drew her. It's
Once they've
like
pixel art, it's a proper
yeah, like
drawing.
anime looking and stuff like that. You get what I mean?
Yeah. It's a different art style.
Yeah. And it's not just like Sally, like a few of the other characters as well. There's been some really cool like pixel art. Granted, there's not like loads of pixel art, but well, not pixel art, but art in general that people have drawn. But it is quite unique as well. It seems to be a very good place regarding the game. I will say as well, your argument about this game being hard to play does seem quite valid, given that a couple of times people have said in that community, people have come in and said, I can't beat this race, how do I beat it?
Get good.
Well, I'm not going to respond with that. Like,
But that is the answer.
because I remember at the time, like one of the main ones as well. I think might show up here. I'm not sure, but there's like one particular race that we did before. I think it was like Jungle Run or something, and that has a drift boost race thing. That the boost race thing I was on about before, and the boost race type thing I was on about, where you need to boost through gates. The boost gate race. There you go. It has one, and it is very difficult. Like, very difficult. Why it's so difficult, I don't know. But yeah, it seems to be the one that didn't just cause me a load of grief either, but a fair few people. And then when I did it, I was like, thank God it's finally over. I think that was the only race where I actually looked and went, thank God that's over. Like I said, there was a few hard races, but realistically, when I boil everything down to which ones gave me grief and which ones were all good, I'd say that one in particular was difficult. The other thing is as well, this race in particular gave me so much grief the last time I did it. Because for some reason, this one, I was saying before, like, the game gets harder. It does. But, like, getting first place here is just not damn near impossible, but you can see the finish line is there. Maybe I can get first. Can I get it? Yes!
Oh, will he hold it?
I will. Nice. We got it. We got it.
Have you won all of them so far?
I have, yes. There is a few that I probably won't win, because there are some that are difficult. Surfside Ruins should win this. Unless this is the rally. Oh, it's the rally. No, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one that's one that I can't really win too easy. See what happens with this one, I guess. The other thing is as well is like in the actual rally ones themselves, normally, you'll come across an AI pretty fast. But in these ones, you won't catch them till like maybe a third of the way through. Maybe a quarter of the way through the stage, I don't know. Yep. Nice. I think we'll be alright. It'd be nice if it would be nice if I ended up actually winning this, to be honest. I'm putting no money on it, but you can see I'm 6th. And I've got the final split to go.
Well, that's what happened last rally as well. You were 6th on the last lap.
Yeah, I know, this isn't a rally, so...
No, the last one was a rally. This was a rally too. It's thankfully the top 5 are like all close together, so...
There you go. So I finished 4th in that one. That's what I mean, like getting to that one, that's the only time where you actually need a high top speed to do it, I'd say. But I'm still leading by over 100 points, so yeah, it's fine. This is the one I was on about, Temple Track. This is the race that I have permanent anger with because for some, like I said, for some weird reason, the boost gate race is just ridiculously difficult. It made me learn this track a lot more than I would like to, because you've got to remember when you, well, I think that's another thing as well. So there's trying to beat a race for the sake of it. You know, trying to just get better at it in general. Whereas with this one, it's like, no, you really do need to actually like learn how fast to go and how to control your speed and everything. I mean, at least from what I can remember. Okay, we've got 3rd there, so...
You should be able to get this.
Got 2nd, that's there. See what I mean? Just. Only just. Also, just because you get in front of someone doesn't mean you take that position. Sometimes it takes the game like a second or so to actually beat it, which is something. Also, here's
oh my god,
run.
another
We're
tofu
back.
run!
We're back.
3, 2, 1, go!
If you have any dance emotes, chat, get them out right now. This may be the last time.
And also, we are going to go extremely fast on this one. Just saying, we will be going a lot faster than we should. Whoop. Whoop. Hey, that's 5th. On. 3rd's there. Oh man, I don't think I'm gonna make this. Come on. Got him before the end.
You did it. I didn't want to
not.
say anything during the music.
To be fair, I don't. I'm just too busy concentrating on it. I'm like, yeah,
I'm too busy jamming.
too busy jamming. Okay, Sky and Sprint, another rally stage, and then we've got the last race after that.
3, 2,
So,
1.
I'll, yeah, not too far off time. I know what it looks like as well, like with the estimate, but I was fairly confident with it as well, genuinely speaking.
Well, like you said, you don't always have to win.
No.
You just need to finish top of the table.
But given the fact that the game, I generally thought that it would be difficult to pick up again. I have had a few crashes on this particular, not on Rally Mania, but like I've had a few crashes, so I have slowed myself down somehow. Like that. Oh, maybe not.
How did you make that?
I don't know. Game physics is all I'm saying. So, we'll be getting there soon. We'll be literally getting right near the end of this. It's literally just a couple of corners to go.
So is it when you cross the line or when you see the trophy?
Well, we've got another race to do.
Oh,
It's
another.
when I see the trophy. Because that's what got the better of me last time.
Yeah.
Specifically, because I was like, oh yeah, I've done this. It's
I
like,
PB
no,
by 40 seconds.
I
No, you didn't.
No, I thought I PB'd by like 13 seconds. Turns out I just stopped the timer in the wrong place, which absolutely sucked. Okay, Velocity Dome, the final race. There we go.
Did you call us Velocity Raptor?
No, Velocity Dome.
No, earlier you said Velocity Raptor, I think.
Maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe someone in chat can clip it if I did. And just repost it and say, yes, you did say that.
This spaghetti mess is the circuit? Oh my god.
Yeah. The funny thing is, as well, is them walls are basically just more like guidelines. Because it's just a case of, yeah, you're supposed to stay in the circuit and you can't just fly over the walls.
Oh, so you wall ride then?
Do what?
Wall riding.
Well, no, you can, if you so desire, you can do whatever you want.
If you're good, you don't need to. Or you know, you can just wall ride in real life, like that NASCAR driver did.
Oh god, that was such an iconic moment. I think that was. Do you know that was like 3 years ago when that happened? I thought that
Is
was
that 3 years ago?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. I forget what the driver was called, but yeah, that was such an iconic moment. It's like, imagine actually looking at something in a video game going, I wonder if that'd work, or just like, oh yeah, we'll just try that. Why not? Let's just try and see if wall riding works. Turns out it actually does. I do love the fact that even like the commentator was just like, how the hell did he do that? Like, guys been
Ross
playing.
Chastain apparently was his name.
Ross Chastain.
And apparently the
Sure.
move got banned after.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised it got banned right after, to be honest.
I don't think it should. I mean,
Guy uses his initiative. That's what you call thinking outside the box.
I would let people use the risk. It's like you can do it, but you'll heavily damage your car, so maybe only do it last lap or two.
Yeah. But even then, if people know that something like that is coming up, they will deliberately block you from doing it.
Well, yeah, that's...
So that would cause more damage than it actually is.
No,
So-
I mean, that's what they do in NASCAR. They block others off, so...
Oh, there goes any chance of a PB. To be fair, I've had a few problems with driving in this one. Right, so time is going to be coming up when the trophy shows. So get ready on time. The 123s. And time. Yeah. There we go. And also as well, it's like, oh, you got thing like that. It's like, it's fine. And then there you go. We have credits.
You did it.
That actually enables the credits, so that's where the any % finishes as well. Like I said before at the start of this run, the reason why we went with the all Grand Prix was because of the fact that the any %, as I said before, it shows off every race, but the problem is it's very repetitive. Sorry for Skydevil Palm who helped make this, by the way. I'm just saying. They did a fantastic job of the game, you know, putting this out there and everything. But I think one of the main things is that the All Grand Prix shows everything off in not too much of an... Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, they don't it's not oversaturated, if that makes sense. So as a result, yeah, that's basically the main thing above all else. You're not getting oversaturated with like seeing the same thing over and over and over again. The any % you would. So it's quite easy to lose focus and everything like that. But yeah, with a game like this, with this particular run, it's not too bad. There is, just to kind of mention as well, not just the any % and the All Grand Prix, which you can do New Game Plus. Each individual group has a All Grand Prix, so you can just do the individual sets, Grand Prix, which are like 20 to 30 minutes, or you can do the all races, which take about an hour per set. And yeah, so you're able to do smaller categories if you wish to do so. Obviously, have a crack at ILs if you're an IL person. Getting them good times on the ILs for this seems to be very optimized, or getting there. People are finding bits of time here and there, but literally people aren't separated by any more than like a couple of tenths. It's nuts. But like, again, it's probably the same with like ViperUK. It's not too far off that, I guess.
Yeah, that can be said about any racing game, usually. That is quite popular.
But yeah, I just want to kind of give a big mention, as well as the game doing it for me. Time Extend to do a racing podcast. They are a great bunch of people, but also the race game community as well in general are pretty good when they want to be. Now, Ayrton Senna, for some reason, his name's in here. I don't know why, but I guess with the drift, I don't know, maybe to do the music, I don't know. I don't know. No idea. Maybe there is some called Ayrton Senna. I don't know. Apart from the racing driver. But yeah, from my side, I'll be back later on with Space Invaders. And I think that's kind of everything. Thank you for NSG for having me open this event. I genuinely wasn't expecting it until I got the call up from Nordic, so thank you. Hopefully I did you all proud. Thank you very much for the donations. You've been very, very generous. And I'll hand it back over to our host.
Yes, thank you very much for a great run and starting us off with a great excitement and enjoyment. So we are going to take a brief intermission, and next up we will have Sonic the Hedgehog Golf with Broken Hyperlink. So.
of the fight, looking back on a war, all of those we have lost. Could we have done any more to prevent the death of friends? Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is not the way the world should be. The destruction of so many lives. Why was it you who had to go to leave us broken and me to grieve?
All right, welcome back to NSG Spring 2025. At this event, we're raising money for Norges Blindeforbund, or the Norwegian Association for blind and partially sighted. You can donate with the links below the stream, and we would also like to shout out the SG and ViperUK for their continued support. And now it's time for Broken Hyperlink running Sonic the Hedgehog Golf.